Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the show. I'm Sean David. Let's talk some old school basketball. In today's episode, I want to talk about some of the greatest goosebump moments in NBA history, so simply put, a video for us old school fans. But before we start with this video, just a quick shout out to my Patreons. Thanks a lot you guys for supporting the show. It's really appreciated. And I would say let's get right into today's episode. Now, the first moment that I want to start off is one of the most badass and also one of the most beautiful moments in NBA history, and it involves Michael Jordan and Steve Kerr. In the 1997 NBA Finals, the Utah Jazz and the Chicago Bulls were battling for the NBA championship. Playing home in Game 6, the Chicago Bulls had the chance to close out the series in the last seconds of the game. Now, usually we would expect Michael Jordan to take the last shot, but in the last timeout, Michael was prepared for a different kind of scenario. And then this moment happened.
He comes off, I'll be ready.
Crowd on their feet here at the United Center.
It'll be a scoop if anybody but Michael Jordan takes a shot.
It is Michael Jordan time. Scottie Pippen looking for Michael Jordan.
Michael, 6 seconds, 5. Michael in traffic to Kerr, 15-footer.
What an iconic moment in the NBA history, what great confidence. But that wasn't all. Now the icing on the cake, Scottie Pippen diving for a loose ball, sacrificing his body for the dagger.
Russell to inbound, looking. Skipped across, Pippen to steal. Scottie saves it to Tony. He runs over again. The Bulls win.
Now the next moment that I want to talk about involves Shawn Kemp. As we know, Shawn Kemp was one of the most ferocious dunkers in NBA history. But the next scene is not simply about Shawn Kemp, but it also involves the perfect timing of the pass from Gary Payton and also great commentary. Let's have a look. In the 1992 NBA playoffs, the Seattle Supersonics and the Golden State Warriors were really going at it. The game was tied at 124 each, and at the last minute of the game, we were able to witness NBA history.
Get out of there, it will. Ball rebounded, tapped away, McMillan to McKee. Up to Gary Payton. Lead pass to Kemp. He'll play it down. What a lob! Whoa! Gary Payton with a lob ahead to Kemp. He went airborne, defied gravity. Laid it down with 2 hands, baby. Foul on the play. He will go.
In the 1980s, of course, the Lakers-Celtics games were always must-see TV. And the battles between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, of course, are iconic, and I could do an entire video about those two guys. But there was that one scene in the NBA Finals where Magic Johnson was dominating Larry Bird and had the iconic shot of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now let's have a look.
You always have somebody in life that you want to beat and you want to compete against. And Larry Bird is the guy.
After dropping Game 3, the Lakers found themselves in a furious struggle for control of the series.
Bird goes around Worthy.
As Game 4 would see 2 living legends locked in the historic game of Can You Top This?
Open his aim. Bird goes for 3.
When the pressure gets tight, there are only a few players that want the basketball, and Magic wants the ball.
In the game's final moments, Johnson would find himself not only with the ball, but also with the chance to put an end to the decade's most compelling rivalry.
To the left goes Magic. He's got it. He didn't shoot it. 5 seconds left. Magic down the middle. Just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good!
Magic Johnson did not just hit a skyhook to win the game, but he also made his biggest rival say the following.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
Now in the 1990s, we had some of the greatest rivalries of all time, involving the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks, and with the following moment in NBA history, John Starks was simply jumping out of the building. As we know, the New York Knicks could never get over the hump once they played against the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan. But in the 1993 playoffs, they came close, and especially in that one moment, you could really feel the electricity in the air.
Free throws missed by Cartwright, and the Knicks lead remains at 3. We're down to 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Starks, yes! What a move by Starks, who was able to sky to the basket. The Bulls call for time.
Having the Knicks on the giving end, now with the next moment they will be on the receiving end. You will notice that rivalries play a big part in this video, from the Bulls-Knicks rivalry to the Indiana Pacers-Knicks rivalry. And Reggie Miller is the name. He had countless iconic moments against the New York Knicks, but this one is one of the biggest Goosebumps moment in NBA history. For many years, the Pacers always fell victim to the Big Apple New York Knicks, and in the 1995 playoffs, many people expected it to go exactly the same way. Then when the Knicks were leading by a large number at the end of the game, many fans left the building because they believed the game is over. And then
Tie game. No need to foul in that situation.
But it doesn't end here. Of course, Starks misses both free throws. Patrick Ewing gets the rebound but also misses, making Reggie Miller the hero of that night with one of the most spectacular moments in NBA history. And next on my list I have Magic Johnson again. To be precise, the 1992 return to the All-Star Game of Magic Johnson. As we all know, at the 1991 press conference, Magic Johnson announced his retirement for basketball because of his HIV virus, and everybody thought we will never see Magic Johnson on the basketball floor again. So it was really surprising to see that the fans were able to get Magic Johnson back at the 1992 NBA All-Star Game, and the moment he stepped onto the floor was pure goosebumps.
And starting at the other guard, the NBA's all-time leader in assists, three-time most valuable player, led the Los Angeles Lakers to 5 NBA titles during the 1980s. One of the greatest players of all time, making his 12th All-Star Game appearance, Oakland Magic Johnson!
Of course, this Cinderella story wouldn't be complete if Magic Johnson wouldn't have had his best All-Star Game appearance, hitting shot after shot and taking home the MVP award. And for the next moment, I want to take you back to the year 1987 to the playoffs Game 5 between the Boston Celtics and the Detroit Pistons, and the one key moment that shows why you should never count out Larry Bird.
Down by 5 points in the fourth quarter, Boston was on the brink of a 3-2 series deficit. They rallied to go up by 1 and hope to hold on.
All right, it goes now quickly over to Blambeer, back to Thomas. Thomas bringing the ball up top. Starts to drive. Goes again. Starts to drive again. Stops. Thompson hits it. All right, it's 107-106, but there are 17 seconds left. And Boston will get another crack at it.
The Celtics had a final chance to pull out the win, and all eyes were focused on one man. Larry Bird, basketball's undisputed miracle worker.
All right, Bird is putting the ball on the play, and Dumars comes over to get right on DJ, and DJ gets the pass anyway. All right, 14 seconds left. On the left it goes to Bird. Bird guarded by Mahorn. Drives around him. Goes on in. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds by no, they call it the other way. And now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right at 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the inbounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up and in. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left. Oh my, this place is going crazy.
Now, obviously, there are many other moments that I could feature, like, for example, the Isaiah Thomas 25 points in one quarter, basically on one leg performance. But I wanted to end this video with my favorite Goosebump moment of all time.
They scored within 4 seconds there. That's how quickly that changes now. Now it puts the pressure on the Jazz to score once again.
Jordan with 43. Malone is doubled. They go with the lead.
So people, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I guess I'll see you next time. Peace. I'm out.